All right, welcome to the latest Longtail Alliance webinar on September 19th. Today we're talking about 6 ways that web video content connects you to your audience. And we're really excited to have a strategist in video and social media and other online content talk to us today. First, we're going to give you a little information about the Longtail Alliance, and then we're going to introduce Rocky Walls, who is the CEO of 12 Stars Media, and he will be presenting some information about video content, and then we'll leave it open for any questions at the end. So the Longtail Alliance is a 5-year-old program that was started to take a position against adverse government legislation and regulation for online web publishers who are looking to make some money off of online advertising on their websites. The organization is part of the Interactive Advertising Bureau, and it is open to web publishers with under $1 million in advertising revenue. Since we started 5 years ago, we've grown to over 1,200 companies and over 1,500 members. And we're excited to be providing educational webinars, events, and networking opportunities for our members. Every year we do a fly-in where we invite all of our members to come to Washington, D.C. and talk to our legislators and decision makers in D.C. about the issues that face online publishers. This year our event was in June, and it was 2 days full of sessions, strategic planning panels, and roundtable discussions. You can learn more about the 2013 fly-in and see some videos and blog posts about it on our website, thelongtailalliance.com, or at iab.net/fly-in. So some more information about what the membership is for. Anybody who wants to join, we are running a short promotion to join for free, and you can learn more about that on some of our social media channels. You can also join the Longtail Alliance community on Facebook, LinkedIn, and at longtailalliance.com. We also have events throughout the year and networking receptions. The most recent one was our DC fly-in in June, and we'll be holding another event in November in New York City that we'll be sending some more information about shortly. We're also available via email if there's any questions that you have or things you need, resources that you're looking for. Email us at longtailalliance@iab.net or tweet at us at IABLTA. So now we'll go ahead and welcome our special guest, Rocky Walls. He is CEO of 12 Stars Media, a video editing, strategy, and production company. And Rocky has over 12 years of experience in digital content creation. He also speaks at various conferences, events on video communications and video strategy, and is available for any kind of questions during this webinar and afterwards on Twitter at Rocky Walls. So just some general housekeeping things about the webinar. You can ask questions as we go in the questions box on your GoToWebinar dashboard, or you can save them to the end and we will answer them then. Tweet about the webinar using the hashtag IABLTA, and we hope you enjoy. So now we'll go ahead and let Rocky take over with his 6 steps for video success. So thank you for being here, Rocky.
Thank you for having me. Let me just get screen sharing set up. And if you don't mind letting me know that you can see my screen, then we'll be good to go.
That's great. Thanks.
Are we set? Can you see the screen?
Yep, all set. Can you hear me?
Yep, all set.
Excellent.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Great.
Very good. Well, thank you for doing the intro. And since you've already done that, I don't need to do very much other than to say that here is just a little bit more information about me, but the same picture. Rocky Walls, as you mentioned, is how people can connect with me on Twitter. And happy to answer questions both now and long into the future when we're all doing even more with video. You mentioned our company, 12 Stars Media, which is also on Twitter, a great resource to follow. We are constantly sharing blog posts and topics relating to video, how to use it on the web, and how to kind of best practices, I guess we should say. And then finally, Candidio. Also worth noting that you can find some good resources and tips there as well. Candidio is a resource, basically a video production platform that allows people to shoot their own video and then send it to us for editing so that they don't have to do that part. So we've put together a lot of our tips, a lot of the things that I'll share today, and many of the other webinars and blog posts and other resources that we have come from the fact that we work with so many folks who are doing their own video. They're shooting video themselves, and we're just kind of helping them make the best of that. So we're not just a video production company that produces high-end videos. We have a wide range of experience in helping folks on the whole spectrum. So that is where you'll hear some of the examples and tips that I share today. That's where it comes from, just so you know, by way of introduction. As we have kind of talked about, this is the session title, 6 kinds of video. Now, I'm not going to say to boost marketing and PR. This is a title slide that maybe we can update for this particular webinar. Today, we're going to talk about how to connect with your audience, and you'll see that as we go through here. Really, this is more about what you need to think about when it comes to your audience and their perspective when they're watching your content or on your website, viewing whether it's a video or any of your content for that matter. You want to think about why are they there and why do they care about what I have to say. In fact, I recently gave a presentation, and I just want to intro with this before we get into the 6 kinds. I recently gave a presentation where I essentially talked about how so many folks nowadays are really talking about content. We are hearing a lot about, if you haven't heard any of the buzzwords, inbound marketing or content marketing or content management or community manager. All these terms center around content, which is wonderful. But the title of my session and some of the sessions that I've been presenting recently is Content is Jack, but Connecting is King. And so what I'm seeing a lot of folks doing, and what this kind of presentation is centered around, is instead of focusing so much on the content, we need to focus on what connects our audience to us and to what we have to provide to them. And so rather than just getting out there and producing video content or blog content or any other kind of content for that matter, we need to think about, well, when people see this, what are they looking for, and how can I connect them to what it is that they need or what it is that they want? Because that's ultimately what's driving inbound marketing and content marketing. You can spend a lot of time and a lot of money producing content, and video, back to the subject at hand, is one of the more costly, both in time and money, types of content to produce. I'm not here to say that it's cheap or fast or any of those things. It does take time. And so all the more we need to be thinking about, if I'm going to do it, I need to make sure that I'm going to get the best bang for my buck. And the way to do that is to make sure that we're creating content that's connecting rather than just creating content. So then that just begs the question, what type of content connects? What type of videos connect with my audience? And how can I leverage video online? And so we're going to go through 6 different types of video, and rather than focusing so much on how to produce them, like what kinds of equipment we need, or you know, how many weeks should I plan ahead for this type of video, we're going to focus on what type of connection am I making with my audience if I put together a video like this, and why does that matter? And so we'll jump right in and get started with the first one. This is one of my favorites. It is a behind-the-scenes video. And since we kind of have trouble showing videos on webinars, I'm going to tell you about this one. The video pictured here is a behind-the-scenes video of a relatively large, by industry standards, sign company who is producing a 3-dimensional sign for a client. And they shot a video about how it's made. And we've kind of seen videos like this. We've seen them online. We've seen them on TV. We have how it's made a television series and things like that. And so they decided, well, let's show a video kind of showcasing or illustrating how we do this and give them a behind-the-scenes look. And so the question is, why a behind the scenes video? What good is it, and what does it do? Well, let's talk about first real quick, what makes a good behind the scenes video? And then that'll help us to understand why people would watch it and what it would do for us, why it would be a type of video that we might want to use online. Well, a good behind the scenes video is something that illustrates something new and different, or interesting, or informative, or inspiring in some way. It's something that when you watch it, by its nature, it's somewhat interesting. Probably because it's something that you haven't seen before, or it's a perspective that you haven't seen before. It's not a sales pitch in disguise. This isn't, 10 seconds of behind the scenes, but then 30, 40, 50 seconds of somebody essentially trying to sell you something, or basically reading off the product page on your website. It's not overhyped in the sense that, if it's building a sign, then it's building a sign. We don't need to make it sound like it's the most glamorous thing, or the most impressive thing, or the most technological thing in the world. It's a behind the scenes video about building a sign, or doing whatever else it is that we do. And it's also not long or exhaustive. We don't need to illustrate every single minute detail or point. We don't need to create a video that teaches somebody how to do it themselves. We just want to show a behind the scenes look. And ultimately, if all of these things are done well, and here's where the connection happens. What is it that an audience member, a viewer of your video, is going to say in their mind when they're watching it? Well, with a behind the scenes video, it's all about, that's the kind of response that we want to get. That's what we're soliciting from our audience members. We go back and we look at these things. This is something new and different. It's an interesting or mysterious angle. It's not a sales pitch, so I'm not turned off by that. It's not overhyped. I'm not disappointed. I'm just going, or this is interesting. This type of video is perfect for piquing your audience members' interest and getting them to look at you, or look at what you do, or look at what you sell in a new light, and saying, okay, now you've got my attention. I'm interested. I want to learn a little more, or I want to click through to a different page on the site, or I want to ask a question. Where's the contact? You've piqued my interest. You've caused me to look at something in a different way than I have before, or understand it in a different way than I have before, and therefore I can now connect with you in a deeper way. So rather than focusing so much on the content, we're focusing on, again, what is it that we want people to do after they watch this video? And during it, we want them to say, interesting, okay. But then afterwards, because they've done that, I've connected them to the real purpose behind my video, which may in fact be to sell a product or a widget, or in this case, a sign. But the reason that they're interested in that now is because I've inspired them. I've connected them on a level that they want to be connected on, which is pique my interest. Give me something interesting to look at. And that's what we've done here. I'm going to walk through a quick example of how you can do this. And this is a tool that we use with Candidio. It's just called a production brief. It's very simple. It starts with a purpose up at the top, and then down at the bottom, there are these specific bullet points or questions that we would ask in a video if we were interviewing somebody to create it. Or if you wanted to use text or a voiceover. Those are the points that you can use to support the purpose of the video. So let me give you an example of how this can work. My audience will, read that in the middle, my audience will want to learn more about us after viewing this video, because we show them one of the really cool tools we use to do our job. And so this is a behind the scenes video that you can imagine right now for your industry, or for someone, like a company that you know. That's something where you would go, I didn't know they used something like that. That's fascinating. It's interesting. And they'll want to learn more about you. And here are some ways that you could do that. Maybe you ask one of your experienced staff members on camera, okay, well, what's your name and what do you do here at XYZ? And then ask them the question, what is a really cool tool that we use here, and what does it do? Then, maybe what problems does it solve for our customers, and get some B-roll shots, close-ups and wide shots of the tools, maybe close-ups and wide shots of the staff member using the tool. These are all things that you would shoot to produce a video like this. maybe a shot of the workplace or the company location or the sign, and then a shot of like a finished product maybe after that tool has been used. These are all things that you can use to give somebody a behind the scenes look and make them say, I'd like to learn a little more about them. That's one type of video that you can use online. Another is testimonials. And I'm actually surprised at how few video testimonials I see online. It's something that we've known for several years now, that video testimonials boost credibility. They don't need to be super high end. They don't need to be really, really well produced. It needs to be something that looks believable and it looks like it's enough quality that, and I can understand what people are saying, and it wasn't something that was just thrown together. As long as it's got a little branding on it and you can understand the person, a video testimonial can do some really cool stuff for you. Here's some things that make a good testimonial video. The fact that it needs to be some kind of proof. There needs to be some social proof in the video. It can't just be somebody talking about how great you are. There needs to be some level of quantifiable information. Money saved, time saved, process improved, something that can explain to your viewer the proof of why this person is offering a testimonial and why you should listen. What's the problem solved, and also that it's candid, something that's not scripted. You want a testimonial video to be very real. So it's not fake, it's not too vague. Like I said, again, just seeing people talk about how great you are isn't as compelling as people actually providing good details or statistics. And again, once again, it doesn't need to be very long. It just needs to be enough to make someone say, yeah, I get it. Okay, I believe it. Yeah, I agree. Now I know. You want confirmation. You want credibility and agreement to be the connection here that you're making with your audience. Most of the time, if your online viewer is clicking through to watch a testimonial video, it is because they are already very, very close to making a decision to going with you, choosing your product, choosing your service, choosing your company. They just need something, or they like something that makes them say, yeah, that's what I thought. Or, yeah, I feel better about that now. I can go ahead and make the decision. I know that I watched this video of someone who's a colleague in my industry or someone who looks like they have the same problem, and yeah, this solves my problem. Yeah, this will do the trick. You want them to feel like they can agree and they can move forward. So a way to produce that, very simple, would be to come up with a video, a purpose, like this. My audience will be more likely to buy or renew our services after viewing this video because they see positive proof statements about our service from their peers. You can do this pretty easily with a video camera, or even asking somebody to do a Google Hangout with you that you record, or asking somebody to talk to their webcam on their laptop or their iPad. Ask one of your customers, okay, well, what problems were you trying to solve before using our product or service? And how have we helped you solve that problem? What impact has it had on your business? There's where you get that quantifiable data. You could even ask the same customer, what's been the best thing about working with us? Or what can we improve, potentially, if you want to use it for a little bit of positive reinforcement or constructive criticism. Some B-roll shots that you can shoot are wide shots, that means far back, shots of either you or the customer's facility, areas where the product or the service is used, close-ups of your customer actually in their work environment. Oops, a little too fast. Those are all things that you can use to produce a simple testimonial. And you'll look here, you notice that it's even simpler than a behind-the-scenes video. There's not much to do here. Interview someone, get them to say some compelling things, shoot some other videos, some B-roll shots potentially, or you wouldn't even have to have them as long as you got just a solid couple of minutes of interview footage. These are all things that you can use to produce a video that gets somebody to agree, to say, yeah, okay, I agree, and I can move forward with finding more information or making a purchase here. The next one, as I accidentally alluded to a moment ago, is a video that introduces people, which is so important nowadays because we're looking for ways, like I said at the beginning, to connect. And people, as much as we've all said this over and over again, we tend to forget that people buy from people, and people buy from people they like. But I'm getting ahead of myself. What makes a good video that introduces people? It needs to be genuine. It needs to have personality. And if possible, it should tell a good story. Introducing people by selling things, or by seeming disinterested, or by having a story that's very shallow, doesn't really fit the bill. It doesn't do what we want it to do, which is make people say, I like them. I like them. That's what people are looking for, right? We buy from people we know, and we buy from people that we like a lot of times. And so videos that introduce your people can help to inspire this connection of, I like them. I would like to work with them. I want to buy from them. And here's an easy way to do that. This is just a good simple example. My audience will want to do business with us after viewing this video because they get to know and like our staff. You can ask a few members of your staff members, or a few members of your staff, what is your name? What do you do here? Good way to start it off. Ask them also, what's some of your favorite things to do in the summer? Or hey, we're in fall time now, so what are some of your favorite things to do when fall rolls around? What is your favorite drink to keep you, let's go with warm, in the autumn time? And you can get close-ups of your staff members working, or faces smiling, laughing, maybe interacting together, even behind the scenes at the video shoot. If you're going to pull out your iPhone and record everybody in a quick interview with everyone, you can get some B-roll shots of everybody interacting during that time. These are all things that you can use to put together a video that does something very simple, which is it gets your audience to connect and like the people that they're ultimately going to be buying from or working with. And that may sound like unnecessary. It may sound like, oh, well, nobody cares. But the truth is, people do care. We do connect with people that we like, and showing a human side of your organization, your company, your product, your service is a great way to reach out there and connect with those people who do want to work with folks that they like. Here's a more specific example of some footage that you can get, at a summertime company outing or picnic, or something along those lines. You maybe even have already some photos and videos that someone has collected of an event. That would be a great thing to incorporate into a video like this that makes your viewer connect and like your staff, your team, those people who they're going to be buying from and working with. Now, so we talk about testimonials and behind-the-scenes videos and videos that introduce people, and some of those things are kind of, a little touchy-feely. Okay, yeah, I'm going to show a video to people, and it's going to get them to like me. But let's get down to the bottom line. I got to sell products. I got to sell services, and I need videos to promote that. And there's definitely a place for that. There's definitely a place for video that just comes right out and says, hey, buy this, right? And there's a right way to do it and a wrong way. A good product or service promotion video is short. It explains benefits. And, oh, by the way, did I mention that it needs to be short? So if somebody is going to watch your video where clearly you're selling to them, they don't need much info. They don't necessarily need it to be like the most exciting video in the world, but it needs to be at least visually engaging. And there does need to be a clear CTA, or call to action, at the end. If I'm going to watch your 30 to 60 or 90-second video, you better tell me what I'm supposed to do at the end of it, especially if you still got my attention at the end of it. I want to know what I'm supposed to do next. If that's click the button to buy now, if it's subscribe to our list, whatever it is, I need to know what that is. There's like 2 problems. This is spelled wrong and this needs to be fixed. And you can get that fixed. This type of video is basically designed to quickly and simply get somebody to say, I need that. right? It's designed to explain the benefits and help somebody understand that they need that product or service. Not designed to make them feel good, not designed to make them say, interesting, or yeah, I get it. It's just designed to simply get them to say, I need that. And the best way to do that is to make it short, explain the benefits, and then tell them what they need to do. Here's an example of something that you can do to accomplish that goal. My audience will want to buy product X after viewing this video because they see some of the great benefits. And things that you can do to produce a video like this would be to ask a product manager or a salesperson, okay, well, what's your name and what products do you have to show us? And then tell us a little bit more about what it really does or what it helps. You know, is it for a certain size of B2B company or a kind of family, or what type of problems do we design this product or this service to solve? What are the benefits, right? What are the benefits of this product? Help a person or a company solve those problems. Then you can shoot some other video if you've got the opportunity of some wide shots, close shots of the staff member maybe showing or demonstrating the product, doing close-ups of the product, maybe shots of a customer using a product or service. Those are all things that you can use to help visually tell the story of a product or service video. The one at the very beginning, I'll go back to it really quick, of this section is a floor cleaner. It's a marble floor polisher, actually, is what it does, and it doesn't use any chemicals. And so the video here that they did was very simple. Just a few shots of somebody using it, and then a product manager basically explaining the benefits. Hey, you don't have to use chemicals. Hey, you know, your floor is cleaner, and you don't have to worry about damaging the environment or buying expensive chemicals. Or having a safety issue at work with hazardous material being on your floor in your storage room. So just explaining the products, the benefits, and making somebody who is in the market for something like that say, oh yeah, I need that. Go through here to the next one. Tips and tutorials. Some of the most viewed videos on YouTube begin with two simple words. How to, right? YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and a huge volume of search that goes into the YouTube search engine is people typing how to or how do I as the first few words in their entry on the search box. So tips and tutorial videos are extremely helpful for connecting to your audience because they're asking a question and you can provide an answer. Here are some ways to do that. A good tip tutorial video is specific. It's very visually engaging or interesting to watch, and it's organized. It's not just somebody talking for 10 minutes about here's some stuff that you can do, and like this webinar, is organized in a very specific way. I could do something very similar in a quick tip video where I talk about the benefits of each type of video, and it's organized in a way that you can expect the answer to be coming soon. Every time I show you one of these, you know that what's going to be coming right after it is the what makes a good video and what doesn't. It's something that's organized, you know what to expect. A good tip tutorial video is not sloppy or unplanned. It's not usually somebody talking and doing something at the same time, which is a problem that a lot of folks get into when they're trying to produce videos. People want to explain things on camera and do them at the same time. Let me tell you something. The people on Food Network have trained long and hard to be able to do that and do it well. And so most of the time what you end up doing instead is talking through how to do something and then recording the actual doing of it later so that you can put them together. And it's also not something that teases. I've seen a lot of how-to videos like this, and they're frustrating. They maybe in the first 30 seconds tell you that they're going to give you an answer to a question, and they they go on and talk about something else, and they say, oh, okay, well, we're going to give you that answer here in a minute, or the title of the video implies that they're going to give a certain answer, but they really don't. Or even worse, they use a title to suggest that they're going to solve a problem that doesn't actually have a solution, and they're going to spend 3 minutes in a video telling you that instead. These are all things that end up in the long run not causing a person to connect with you. And so what we want them to say after they've watched the video is, oh, I get it, right? Oh, okay, I understand now. You helped me. You connected me to the information that I needed, and now I trust you as a trusted resource or subject matter expert. And so we will answer people's questions and solve their problems and get them to say, oh, okay, I understand. So for example, after someone watches a tip tutorial video, maybe this is what you want them to do. My audience will sign up for our email list after we show them this video because we demonstrate our expertise. We demonstrate our expertise and they say, oh, I get it. You know what, these guys are pretty smart. I think I'll sign up for their email list. That's what videos like this can be for. And here's a good example of how you can produce something like that. You can ask someone on your staff, maybe a support rep or a customer service rep or even a salesperson, okay, what's a frequently asked question we hear a lot in our industry? And then simply say, okay, well, what's the answer? And then ask the staff member, and this is where that call to action comes into play. How can our viewers find more answers to questions like this? And then you can shoot shots of, someone finding the FAQ on your website or checking his email or browsing the blog in order to find those answers. And then if you have it, if that type of a answer or an FAQ, you can do a screenshot or a video of the page of the website where people can find that information or sign up for the email. Last one. Video is fantastic for event promotion as well. So if you have an event, an actual location event where you were trying to get attendees in person to attend, or even if you have a webinar or a conference or an online event of some kind, it's still great to use video to promote and get attendees to understand what it is that they're going to get out of the event. This one, by the way, was a quick montage of different Mr. Potato Heads that you can build at a Mr. Potato Head exhibit at a children's museum here in Indianapolis. And so it was just a very quick little montage of fun Mr. Potato Heads, and they used it to promote the traveling exhibit there for a few months. So what makes a good event promotion video? Well, they're short. They give me a kind of a feeling of being there. They take me there. I can understand what's going on at this event or what's going to happen. And event videos, if you can, are great to have people in them to imply that, hey, there are actually people who are going to the event. And it looks like a place to be, right? There's nothing to get people to attend an event more than to show them that there are a lot of people there and that it's a place to be. People don't want to miss out on anything. Once again, no surprise here, the videos don't need to be very long. They're not inviting. That's a double negative. But what that means is that they need to be inviting, and they need to have a clear CTA. So inviting meaning showing the viewer that you want them to be there in as many ways as you can, and we'll get into that when we go through the production brief for this example. Essentially, what people want to say, or what we want people to say after they watch the video is, I want to go. I want to participate. You give them some reasons, and they can say, okay, yeah, I want to go. You connected me to something that I want. I want answers. I want the fun, whatever it is that's going to be at that event. I want to go. Here's an example of a video that would accomplish something like that. My audience will register to attend my event after viewing this video because we give them a taste of the value they'll get from it. And you can simply ask someone who has attended the event in the past or maybe a similar event, okay, well, what's the name, date, and location of this upcoming event? Ask them, what do I need to do to attend this event? going back again to making it inviting, making it really, really clear to your viewer what they need to do. We want you to come. Here's how to get involved. Here's how to sign up. Here's how to register. Here's how to get your ticket now. Invite them. Make sure that your video actually indicates to them that you want them to be there and how they need to go about doing that. You could ask, what's one thing that every attendee should be able to take away from this event? It's a great question to help them understand and help them to get that connection moment where they say, oh yeah, I want to go. Because they hear someone else explain, or maybe even you could ask these questions of a presenter. Someone's doing a webinar, or someone's going to be presenting at a conference. This would be a great way to get them to understand what they're going to get out of the event. And some B-roll that you can use would be maybe videos or photos from past events, some shots of the venue if it's available. Maybe you can do at the end of the video, you can show a screen capture or a still shot of the computer screen of where people can go to sign up. That's a good thing to give them a visual of what that looks like. These are all things that you can use to produce videos to promote an event to get people to say, oh yeah, okay, I want to go. Those are the 6 kinds of videos that I think work really, really well online to connect with your audience. It's usually at this point in time in the webinar that I open up the floor to kind of talk about maybe some other questions, because I didn't cover a lot of material that you could spend a whole hour talking on equipment, styles, ways to shoot video, ways to produce video, what to do with it after you've got it. All of those things are things that usually come further down the line. People have specific questions about. So those are 6 kinds of video that I think work really well, and the connection that you can get with your audience because of each. And I'd just like to maybe just ask you one more time to follow me on Twitter and ask any questions that you have, or we can open up the floor now for any questions that we want to make sure get answered on the webinar.
Great. Thank you so much, Rocky, for taking the time here. Those were really amazing. And I think it is really important to be asking these questions about what your audience might need and what you want to be able to provide to your audience. Thinking about that strategy first before going into actual technicalities of producing video. So I think this is really helpful. And don't see any questions here yet, so um, we will be posting this webinar to the website, talking about it online, and if there are further questions at that point, we will certainly know that you are available all the time to answer our questions, right? Um,
Very, very available. Yes, I am here to help any way that I can. This
Great.
is something that, to your point, just to put one final button on it, some of this seem obvious, and I can just maybe just explain and help people understand that maybe you just ask, trust me, that you will save so much time and money and energy and frustration by planning ahead, even if it's just 15 minutes, taking a sheet like that one that I provided on this webinar, plan it out and make sure that you know why you're creating this video. Because too many times people just go out there and start willy-nilly recording video footage and then dumping it on someone, or opening up their own editing software and trying to put something together. And it really, really has to be thought out. You really want to make sure that you put something together that is thought out and helps solve a purpose or a problem for someone and connects with your audience. So I think that's a good place to start. There are usually questions about equipment and YouTube versus other video hosting platforms and all that. All that can be figured out later. You're never going to get there unless you can create a good plan for your video.
Totally. And
Thanks
that's a
again for
question.
having me.
Yeah, no problem. That's a question we get a lot, especially from small businesses who say, well, I don't know if I have the resources to do video, but everybody else is doing it, so I know I have to do it. And asking that question, well, why do you want to do it? What end result are you trying to achieve? And what can we do to get there before asking how to create this video. It's more, well, what tactics do we need to take, or what things do we need to think about that the audience will actually want from you before even starting that whole shooting process. So, and I think what you said too about it being can potentially be expensive. There's no use wasting money or time, but without a thought out plan. So I think that's great. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you again for having me, and I am here available for any questions that come up in the future.
Perfect. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.